hell am I?
Hello everyone, this is GameScout 24/7. My name is Alexius Y, and I will be showing you some gameplay footage from Resident Evil Village. Over here, we have the very first enemy in the game, one of the standard lichens that will be hunting you down throughout the entirety of the game. This is on hardcore difficulty, captured on a base PS4. Nasty. Are you counting the bullets? Are you noticing the health? Yep. That's the first death. That's the first time I died. Probably, what, 10 minutes into the game? A very, very cold opening. Later on, this is in the castle, Castle Dimitrescu. I won't be showing too many spoilers in this gameplay showcase. I will be showing you mostly side objectives or parts of the main game that don't really spoil any major surprises. Just show off some of the gameplay mechanics, like a nice vertical slice of what you can expect. This part you may be slightly familiar with because it was also present in the demo. It was freely available up to the launch of the game. As you can see, we are now stuck in a small room with what seems to be a treasure. A coffin, but still a treasure. And we've got lots of them. Lots of zombies on our tail. What to do? We don't have a lot of health. Not a lot of ammunition. Thankfully we have a bomb. That also hurts me, but it was a calculated risk. On hardcore difficulty, you really don't have a lot of chances. Getting up close and personal with a zombie, or a lichen, it's never a good idea. So having 2, 3, God forbid more enemies around you is quite a hellhole of a situation. And now we're almost dead, and the game is merciful and gives me a chemical fluid you can mix with an herb to make medkits. And yes, just like Resident Evil 7, healing still looks silly, but it absolutely works. This is an example of a puzzle that repeats a couple of times. You need to light the braziers, either in an order or on select spots. Pushing it doesn't really do much. You're supposed to use your bullets, sadly, to light it up. Those 5 bullets could have been used on a Zombino. But the game forces you to use them here, essentially. This is also a rare moment of downtime. Much of this game is non-stop action. But a couple of these examples of exploration come in really nicely. And sometimes you find treasure that can be combined in exactly the same way as Resident Evil 4's treasure system worked. We will sell this later on for lots and lots of cash. Coming up, we're back in the village itself. The village is a semi-open level. You come back to several times. Parts of the village are completely optional, but most of them are mandatory. And every time you come back and find out something new, you might find surprises like different enemies, different enemy layouts popping up here and there. So you're never quite sure what to expect. You're always at least slightly on edge. The goal here is to find a specific house with a key item you need. But the way to the house is blocked, of course, so you need to take a long route around. Notice the attention to detail. The environment design throughout the entire game is really greatly detailed, with many little things you might not notice your first time over because you're just too tense to take note. It's important to keep an eye out for items and any useful memos or maybe hints about the world, the story, the characters. Puzzles, again, are rather frequent. They're never too difficult, but they're a nice distraction. The constant shooting and fighting for your life. We just found a new gun. There are many guns to buy or either find, and then later on to upgrade with the Duke. The guns do handle a little bit differently. It's not just a matter of this gun is more powerful than the other gun. A semi-automatic pistol will be more useful in certain situations than a normal pistol, and vice versa. The sniper rifle is incredibly useful, especially, at least on my hardcore playthrough. If you're really good and don't miss, the sniper rifle basically is a one-shot kill with headshots, even if you don't upgrade it that much. Naturally, it's not easy to do. The Lycans and other enemies, which I won't spoil, are all incredibly fast. They love to dodge your bullets. They love to hit hard. They attack in groups. You won't find yourself really in a situation where you're fighting one enemy, one-on-one, and the others will just patiently wait their turn. It's not really happening in this game. Just like in Resident Evil 4, every enemy drops crafting materials, but never really ammunition itself. So you need to calculate what to use and when. I won't say what that was, and we'll end this gameplay segment here. Further on, this is roughly 2/3 into the game. I have upgraded most of the weapons I currently own here. This gun is a semi-automatic pistol I mentioned. Is really useful if you have a lot of handgun bullets. You can just dump a lot of 9mm lead into them. The shotgun is incredibly satisfying to use, much like previous Resident Evil games. The Lycans themselves come in many varieties. These typical Lycans you see here are fairly reminiscent of the villagers from Resident Evil 4. You can tell most of them are close ranged. They come in hot with cold weapons, but some of them shoot arrows from a distance. Others are actually bigger and maybe carry even bigger weapons. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. But most of the time you will be fighting hordes of quote-unquote normal Lycans, such as these examples. You tend to appreciate every moment of stillness between fights because you don't really get a lot of chances to rest up, focus your thoughts, prepare. And that's certainly a red barrel. You know what's gonna happen sooner or later. And here we go. If this feels like an arcadey, actiony game, you would be very right. Once you beat the game at least once, you unlock the Mercenaries mode. And the Mercenaries mode reuses some of the levels and some of the assets from the game to create a fully arcade experience by using the same basic game mechanics as the story campaign has. And it works really well. Again, the game gives you some time to adjust, prepare, think if you need to craft something, switch your weapon loadout. I opt for the handgun ammo and some explosive rounds just in case. Throughout my hardcore playthrough, I tended to stock up on shotgun shells and grenade rounds to always have a surplus of them in the back, but I still use the handgun the most. You have the likeliest chance of finding a handgun ammunition around, and it's the easiest to craft. So if you stick to your guns, if you stick to your handguns, you will have probably the easiest time, but your mileage may vary. Look at that boy go. No scoping didn't work. This was pretty dumb on my part. Instead of standing on the opposite side of this little arena and using the barrel to kill 6 of them at once, I awkwardly shuffled myself into this little passage. I wasn't really thinking straight at this point. It's always so satisfying to explode those barrels. Lucky shot. Not long after this segment, deeper into this stronghold. The fun never ends. Ethan must taste pretty tasty. It's a good thing looking through your inventory pauses the game. I don't think it would be manageable if it didn't pause.
Okay, big guy.
You can set weapons to shortcuts, including the pipe bombs and the mines, but I never use them too much during my playthrough, so I always tend to use them through the menu. Naturally, you can craft the bombs and the pipes. The mines and the bombs, sorry. You can craft them, but those same resources can be used on other bullets, and it's particularly interesting that the herbs and chem fluids are shared between various ammunition types. So you could use an herb for a med kit, or you could use an herb to make an explosive round, which you're seeing right now. So you need to think carefully what resources to use and when. And that's pretty much it. This was your small look into what Resident Evil Village offers. There is much more to this game than just this brief showcase can give you. But I really, really don't want to spoil any surprises. It is a very solid Resident Evil game, a huge focus on action, and overall just very fun. I'll leave you with the loving arms of Lady Dimitrescu.
What the hell do?
Oh my.
Ungrateful, selfish wretch! You come into my house.
Oh, I came into your house.
Filthy man-hands on my daughters.
She called
And
me
now
filthy.
You even try to steal my property. How dare! Rest while you can, because I will hunt you, and I will break you.
She will break me.
Go ahead, do your worst.
Oh, baby. Don't mind me. I'm just need to go to the little boy's room.